I don't even know what his logic is because it makes no sense.
There's tons of logic there because if you're recreating the whole dynamic and story and characters of
again, it didn't make sense because they're the same characters, continuation of the storyline. It's a sequel. Anyway.
Welcome to Monday Mornings with Michelle, the new business podcast. Whether you're kicking off your day or kickstarting your business, Michelle is going to kick your ass into next week with the essential fours: strategy, systems, support, and state of mind. Now, welcome to center stage, Michelle Nedelec.
Peeps, this is Michelle Nedelec, and I am super glad that you're here with us today because I have my most amazing guests for the first time ever. Yeah, the crowd goes wild. Jenn and John, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's our pleasure.
Peeps, you are going to love these two as much as I do because they're a blast to listen to. So I will kind of almost sort of turn the mic over to you. Give us kind of the 5,000-foot view of who you guys are and what you love to do.
Well, I'm Jenn Page.
And I'm John Curtis.
And we are
the hosts of the Nerd Couple Show. It's much smoother in the execution.
Well, and I also will say this is our first podcast guesting as the Nerd Couple Show.
Yes.
So all of those rough edges.
Here you go.
Here they come.
Served up on a silver platter. No, we cater to some, nerds coupling that argue, and we want to put it out there in a healthy way.
We say we're settling nerd couple arguments one episode at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Our whole show is about anything pop culture, nerd related. It comes on the show. We just, if it's a new movie that comes out, we're definitely arguing about the, good or bad on there.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something in the nerd zeitgeist that we don't want to argue about, there's really nothing off limits as long as it's family friendly and sort of pop culture nerd related.
Yes. And there's no nerd shaming. We welcome all nerds from all around the world.
Nice. So nerd coupling is kind of a physics montage as well as a relationship status. Yeah, we're just coupling. Don't mind us. It's awesome. So how did you get into this as a thing? Like you were just arguing all the time and figured, hey, let's turn on a microphone? That sounds like
you want to start or you want me to start? 2019, 2018 or 2019?
I don't know.
The movie.
You're going to argue over it.
I know. That was 2018, 2019.
In the pandemic years, I don't know what any time is anymore.
It blends together.
Right.
But Terminator Dark Fate had just come out. And we both had a great time seeing it. And we come out of the theater in the parking lot. We casually throw out this line.
We basically start to have a huge knockout, blowout fight over whether or not it was a sequel or a reboot, which he says it's a reboot.
Because it is.
Because he says, I don't even know what his logic is because it makes no sense.
There's tons of logic there because if you're recreating the whole dynamic and story and characters of
again, it didn't make sense because they're the same characters, continuation of the storyline. It's a sequel. Anyway, this was where we realized that our arguments, we never had arguments over things that normal couples do, maybe like money or whatever.
Right.
Our fights were dragged out, knocked down, breakup inducing fights over stupid things.
It's really
nerd
stupid.
things.
And I don't know why we had to be right. Well, actually, I do.
I'm pretty sure I
normally she's pretty right all the time. Jenn Page is always right is one of the sayings in our relationship. I'm okay with it. But couple that with the arguments we were getting while we were gaming together on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
We needed a better outlet.
Yeah.
Right? You guys live dangerously. Do you like game in the same room or do you go in different rooms and yell at each other?
Two giant TVs set up. So we both sit on the couch together and we would, play whatever it was, Fortnite Realm Royale. And if there was ever a duo match and we died, he became the worst. Like I don't want to know you I'm not going to be around you anymore.
So my therapist, and a lot of good life lessons have steered me somewhat out of that toxicity of gaming that I would say.
I think it comes with the territory,
yes.
Unfortunately. I think nerddom in general comes with the territory, which is where we really kind of fell into this, where we just want to have a non-toxic, fun place to have debates over nerdy things. And it really worked for us because now we can do it live with an audience and they enjoy watching us argue. They've told us so. They've been disappointed at episodes where we don't argue.
We were doing a little research and I asked one of my best friends, I'm like, hey, what do you like about the show? And he's like, you guys arguing is top tier content. Don't stop. But actually it was really healthy for us to put these arguments into this space.
Yeah. So it was entertainment. And then when we leave the show, it's like, we're done. It's over.
There'll be points where we're not doing the show and we're just out and about and we start to talk and we're like, whoa. Before we go any further, save it for the show.
Hold that thought. That's awesome. Have you ever just been walking down the parking lot and pulled out your phone? Okay, start recording. We need this for later. We got outtakes.
Thought about it because we just launched TikTok. We've decided to go into that scary territory.
Awesome.
I don't like it. I'm old.
Yeah, but now we're like, we probably do need to put some impromptu things up.
So what you just said, we're going to do.
Nice. And if nothing else, you got a blooper reel off of everyone. You guys would be perfect for a blooper reel. So are most of the arguments that you're getting into like semantics over the difference between a retake and a sequel? Or are they like...
Like I have a very, very strong opinion that Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald is the best movie of all the Harry Potter movies.
Which is insane to say. So it's an insane person saying something insane.
So that would be an argument that has been had on the show.
What
are some other arguments that like...
I don't want to leave that one because she actually believes it.
This is not the show.
Yes. Okay.
We're not on our show.
Okay.
And you can use it as bleeper. We'll have recordings for you.
Boop. Just start there.
And I think it's important to see that the highlights of the show, because one, I think you guys are hilarious and clearly done in a sweet and loving sort of way where I can tell that you guys have an awesome, fantastic relationship. And clearly you respect each other's difference of opinion enough to give it air and validity. Because I've been in arguments with people who really don't give a crap. And it's like, yeah, whatever. And you just walk away. It's like, well, that sucked.
Change their mind. And I think that even with this, we don't set out to change minds. We just more set out to like lay out all of our opinions
give
and then
voice.
Let the audience kind of make decisions that they want to make.
Yeah, give voice to differing opinions.
But it is really fun when we bring something and the audience is basically saying he's insane. It happens a lot.
A few times.
Is it just because one or the other doesn't really understand the plot behind the movie, or they just don't understand good art?
It was really like we had a whole thing on bathroom lemons. John has bathroom lemons.
Let's give her context.
It doesn't context. It doesn't matter. The point is, the audience made him all know that he should not have his lemons in the bathroom.
Oh no! I had people agreeing with me.
You had like one person who basically said, "See," so the audience said, "No,
air freshener."
The audience said, "You have poop on your lemons," and
this is horrible.
But the one person who agreed with him said, "Doesn't matter. You have poop on everything you touch."
Their logic was, you don't see the food in restaurants, and it's
But the point is, they still said there's poop on your lemons.
Okay, for your viewers, this has nothing to do with actual poop. It is just storing lemons in the bathroom on the doorknob in a plastic bag, which sounds weird, but it was working.
To do what?
It was.
Don't worry, we now have a fruit bowl.
Yes,
No
she didn't like where I was
lemons.
placing the lemons in the kitchen, so I solved the problem and placed them in my office.
So I solved the real problem, and now we have a fruit bowl.
Now we have a fruit bowl.
This is the kind of stuff that happens on our show, and the
is
audience,
awesome.
for some reason, seems to like getting into the middle of it with us.
There were a lot of opinions on bathroom lemons. A lot.
I would think so. So I have to ask, I won't tear it apart completely. Is there an episode called Bathroom Lemons so that people can search this and find it?
Yes.
Okay.
It is in the description of that episode.
It wasn't supposed to be a big thing. It
No.
was just supposed to be a quick, like, here's what happened. Is he crazy? But it was, people were really loving it. So it went on a little too long.
Nerd couple show audience loving the scatological. Not just kidding.
and not.
It's over. Bye.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. You're way gracious.
That's awesome. So out of all of your things to discuss, is it the kind of marital home issues that tend to get you guys riled up the most? Or is it actually the movie plots and characters of things that are going on?
Well, I think the movie plots and characters become home issues.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Well, they do, like for instance, Schitt's Creek. We love Schitt's Creek. It's a great show. We always talk about it on the show. And then she'll buy the book and she'll start reading to me in bed when I'm trying to sleep. And I'm like, come on. And then I end up waking up, loving what she's reading and say, read more, read more, read more. So we'll just bring that to the show and talk about it in that way. So it's kind of a,
At 5 a.m, neither one of you have had any sleep and you're reading Schitt's Creek.
Well, let's be real. He falls asleep at like 7 p.m. every night.
But 7 p.m.'s way early, Miss Exaggerator.
Am I? Just because you stayed up till 11 last night doesn't.
Thank you.
Doesn't count for all the times you fall asleep at 7. Okay. Anyway, I have a daughter who's turning 19, his stepdaughter, and she's a big nerd too in her way, but she's darker. She's anime. Yes. She loves everything Sith.
Right.
So
she's the foil to our light side good guy.
So there's definitely, our whole house is constant nerd.
Everything.
Nice. That is awesome. So does that parlay into her school activities and things like that, or had it?
Well, she's studying art right now. And
nice.
Yes, it seeps over into her creativity all the time and in great ways, because
the best thing is now that she's in college learning graphic design, we now are sending her all the stuff to make. She's making our t-shirts that are in our merch shop now.
Yeah, we commissioned her for everything, and she's a really good artist.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. So have you noticed that the communication in general has improved overall? Would you say that you're connecting more than you did before?
Yes.
He looks at me with this face like, are you on crack? And then says yes.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, I think we're calmer. Like, I think that our inside the house life is calmer.
That's true. I am calmer.
Partly we don't have time to play video games anymore because we're working so hard on our show, among other things. I'm a filmmaker. He's an actor. So we have those lives plus our show. And then we've discovered VR is like the way we want to exercise. So now we VR, so we don't really go back to PS4 and play any of those games that were more toxic.
But gaming together in the VR, great nerd couple thing to do. Highly recommend.
But there's no toxicity because there's no, you're going to die if I do one wrong thing.
Well, let's be fair. I've eliminated that out of our gaming life. I could be toxic about Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Is it because you're not shooting each other, or?
Beat Saber it's basically you're just chopping all these objects that are coming at you and
on rhythm,
to songs. And essentially you can beat the other person's score, which we don't go by that barometer anymore.
Because, also like for me, it's fun.
It is. Yeah. And I've come to terms with that. It's great. I love doing it.
Like, I don't know if you would be less toxic if we went and played PS4 games.
I would.
I think it's so deep in your blood.
No.
Is it because you're a little competitive, do you think?
I am.
A little. A
little competitive, just a little bit of a need to be right, and just a little bit of control issues, I'm guessing.
It's all therapy. It works.
I'm definitely the controlling one. But
it's just because I recognize the signs, that's all.
You can't help it. Even in our wedding vows, I made him vow to remember that I am the director, he's the actor, both on and off screen.
We got to write each other's vows without them seeing it. So when we're up there standing, I had to read that. Her vow out loud.
We did it in our couple style, basically.
Yeah.
Well, we also did our wedding in our living room, so it wasn't like a big thing. Mm-hmm. And we did it with everybody dressed as Star Wars Harry Potter crossover. Full nerd. Full stop. We're gonna put those vows up later this week, actually. Oh,
that's great. So you get like nice little 1960 or 1600s vows to each other. You didn't know about. You will obey me. Nice. That's awesome. So in your artistic worlds, in the acting and film, are you working with each other as well over there?
We have in the past, and I think to great success with regard to creating art in this industry.
Well, I still make him audition no matter what it is. He actually, executive director of Blackmagic Collective, and he got into the Emerging Actors Initiative, but he had to do it through all the same rigmarole that everybody else had to go through. So with the last feature, Playing with Beethoven, it actually had a theatrical release at the end of last year, and it's now on demand. And he had to audition for that as well. And then he ended up getting the role and playing against Shannon Elizabeth. They played husband and wife.
Yes. It was
Nice.
Made him sing live on camera.
Oh, outside of my comfort zone. But only by moving into fear do we grow. Therapy.
So would you say she's harder to audition in front of than others, or?
There's a certain level of comfort. I think that it eliminates some of the anxiety from the audition process, but there's also a very high bar that she sets that I think is great, that I love meeting, at least attempt to meet.
I've only ever seen you do nervous audition though.
Yeah.
Like you still pull it off, but like I feel like
once you get the part, then it's been my Achilles heel for a long time.
Yeah. I don't envy actors at all.
Yeah, I would think that would be super stressful. You just walk in and start doing some weird shit. What the hell are they doing?
I would never recommend it to anyone. Like, this job is full of rejection. You're told no and you're not good all the time. But yeah, give it a try.
Fun. That is awesome. So on that positive note, what is it about acting that you love to do?
The process of inhabiting something other than yourself, it's great. You get to do things you would never be able to do, in my day-to-day life.
This past year, you've played a hitman. Forget you've done so much. I've already forgotten. Oh, the weird office guy, the snarky office guy. In our film, you were the jaded
musician,
cellist or something like.
Yeah. So all of these things. But I always tell people, in my ideal world, I would be on set holding a wand or a sword or a lightsaber or a blaster, because that is my Mount Everest. I want to be there.
Well, you've done a sword in a film. I think you got to be more specific. I always tell everybody, like, stop making generalizations. Like, what specifically do you want? Say it.
Are you saying I should niche down?
You should be saying, I want to be an actor on a Disney Plus show. It could be Kenobi. It could
Kenobi.
Be, I'm just saying, like, it should be Disney Plus, a high level Disney Plus Star Wars show.
Yes.
Like, as a regular.
In terms of running a business, this one has made me running my business as an actor much better. Like, she has improved my life on a day-to-day basis since the day we met. But with regard to my professional aspirations, I love her. I can't describe.
Aw, so sweet.
I'm going to play that back regularly.
Right. Haunt him with it. So, Jen, what was it about producing that you love to do and that got you into that?
Well, I started out as an actor a bazillion years ago, but I found there was a point where I was creating this really epic scene. Where I was also directing an episode of something, and I was creating this epic scene, and I realized I didn't give a crap about being in the scene. I love making moments, especially epic, like love moments. Like I love anything that's romantic dramedy. I've done a lot of musical film type projects. And I just like these big, I like to build the moments. I like doing the character work. There's probably my control side that it likes to have this control over how we shape a film. I mean, as much control as you have, nobody has control over it because, maybe you have a DP who's not doing their job.
Unless you're Spielberg, you're not going to have total control.
Yeah, exactly. There's always somebody or something. But yeah, I think that being able to be creative as a director is the most fulfilling thing I do. And it's the thing I do the least, because when you're a director, very similar to being an actor, most of your job is getting the next job. So you're always you're always editing, you're always producing something, you're writing something, you're networking, you're doing everything you need to do just to get that next job. So you might have worked like a year and a half for one job that you're on set for a month. It's a lot of work.
But you're good. Like, she is good. And honestly, if Spielberg sat me down and said, "Go ahead, give me your pitch for yourself," I would advocate for her more than I would myself in that 30 seconds I had with Spielberg.
And then I would punch him for ruining that moment.
Which brings me to my next question. So is it because you're kind of both in the same industry, or is it because you're both in different roles in your industry that you can have such epic arguments over whether or not a movie's a good one or a crappy one?
We definitely see from, I've jaded him though. We see it from different sides. He sees it from an actor side. I see it more from all the film together side. But I've made you jaded because there was a time where he thought he'd be watching actors and he's like, they're good. What are you talking about? And now he sees it. He sees all the problems.
She's a harsh critic, but accurate. And it's only improved my own craft. So.
Yeah.
Nice. So do you guys go over your shows afterwards and like at that moment, that was the one I was talking about?
We actually honestly do listen to improve. Like we'll listen and just be like, do you see what you're doing there? Like, oh, you're getting too close to the mic. Oh, why are you laughing?
Because it's
There's
a
a lot
very
of that.
one-sided conversation.
Well, because I call myself out. I'll be like, oh, stop saying like I can call my own problems out. I don't think you're as good at noticing your own things, but that's, again, I'm a director, so I see the whole picture.
This is true.
So it's like, look right there, you got to finish your story. You can't just cut yourself up, or I'm constantly stopping myself mid-sentence with a different thought. I'm like, I'm yelling at myself, stop doing that, dummy. Like, stop saying, again. Again. Like, I can call myself out. I don't think you tend to do that very often.
Maybe.
He just listens and goes, we're so good.
No, that is not what I say. There's always room for improvement. And with regard to running this business, I think we're always looking to improve, whether it's content or execution. Execution. We've been doing that show for a couple of years now. And technically,
I mean, we still have issues like with, the mic levels will be off because like the last episode, he was all distorted for some reason. And we're like, we're in year 3. This should not be happening.
Why?
He had aliens in his head and they took over his voice control.
Yeah. I love that lame trajectory.
Thinking you just do voiceovers for like weird shit and be awesome.
Tire me.
Anyways, on that note, it was quite hilarious because I have an editor that's going, oh my God, listen to this one. Do you have ghosts in your like, I don't have ghosts. That's feedback. She goes, but it was so creepy. It was like,
God.
Well, I don't know. We've been watching Ghosts on CBS and we're learning a lot of things. Like why our Alexa in my daughter's room way in the back will just randomly play music when no one's around.
Yeah.
It's apparently because it can hear ghosts and the ghosts are telling to play music. So
Nice
I
ghosts.
maybe have ghosts being picked up who are trying to be on your show with you.
Really? We're having so much fun. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So where do you see the progression of your show going? Is it in your ability to just have more like knock them down, fisticuff kind of arguments? Is it in the humor of that, in the delivery of it? What are you going for?
I think we would love if the audience is laughing and enjoying themselves. Like that's really what we care about more than anything.
Right.
Our whole goal, one of our big goals is to be invited to, host things at Comic-Cons and, host panels and host events and just be out there with people and continuing to spread sort of nerd joy.
That's it. Spreading nerd joy.
Why does it sound dirty when you say it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounded kind of like fairy dust when she said it.
I know.
Little something else when you said it.
Apologies.
I liked it. I thought it was hilarious. Well, and I think that's kind of the joie de vivre to what you have is you can be saying the exact same thing in total agreement with each other, and you're still coming at it from 2 different sides.
Sometimes I'll be like, that's literally what I'm saying.
And I'll repeat it. I'll repeat it and be like, there, you see?
Like, that's not what I said at all.
And it's not because I'm trying to antagonize her. It's because I'm dumb.
At least you know.
Aw, you're not. That's so sweet. I do like how you deprecate yourself.
Have
Lauren.
dumb
That's
moments.
it's kind of cute.
Okay.
Making sure I had that right word. And that's awesome. So, if you could have anybody sponsor your show, anybody at all, wave a magic wand, it's going to happen. Who might that be?
Great question.
Disney.
Ooh.
That's
No, Universal.
no.
Listen, why? Here's why. Universal Wizarding World sponsoring the Nerd Couple show. And then we get to go to the Wizarding World whenever we want for free. They literally could let us do that and not even pay us.
She says this because she and our daughter, Harley, they're obsessed with the Hogwarts ride at Orlando Universal.
Hagrid's ride.
Now, she asked us a very specific business question, and Disney would be a way better sponsor.
Why?
Tons more fandoms, access to those fandoms, and money.
No, we like money.
I do think it's going to be fun to get at some point getting big toy companies, people who do action figures.
That's why, again, Disney.
But like, the Hasbros who make the toys and all of that. Like,
Which I think Disney owns.
Well, basically Disney owns everything. So
I'm thinking so. And on that note, so if you were to be a Disney ride, what kind of ride would you be?
Say it at the same time.
What are you going to say?
There's only one ride we would be.
Oh, you're going to say a ride that already exists.
Is that what you're asking?
I just said if you were going to be a ride, what kind of ride would you be? So
I
if it's an existing ride.
Okay, go for it.
I mean, I would definitely be some kind of shooter game, but instead of people dying, pie explodes on their face or something.
But also mix in teacups. So you're spinning.
No teacups. I can't. I don't like circles.
Man.
That's you. You could be teacups just spinning around.
How are you throwing stuff at people without spinning? Come on, that's fun.
This is me as a ride, not you as a ride.
Well, this is a two-for
You
question.
can spin. So if they play John, they can spin and try and shoot Jen, and Jen just kind of gets to aim at John and shoot him.
I guess with the two.
You have no gun. You just spin.
True. We can make the spin optional. It is optional on the teacups.
No, I think I like this new game she's just created. You're spinning to try to stay out of the way of the pies that I'm shooting.
You can have lemons, John. We'll
there
give you
go.
lemons. How's that?
Done. Sold.
Hilarious. So I have to ask, what is your favorite show and or whatever to discuss?
We do talk a lot about things from the Potter world,
Yes,
and from Star Wars, probably.
Yeah. So with regard to the movies, shows though, we do talk a lot about
almost anything Disney Plus is constantly.
They're turning out great Marvel stuff, great Star Wars stuff. We'll talk about their animated movies that come out. I mean, part of what we want to deliver with the show is just to say that you can nerd out about anything. So if you nerd out about Schitt's Creek, then you're a nerd. That you can join our fold.
Aw, that's so sweet. Love that. Well, and I'm unfortunately, as weird as this sounds, I don't watch a lot of movies. I am such a nerd that I watch mostly educational videos when I get a chance to watch.
That's a
TV.
great thing to nerd out about. I love it. Like what?
It's taking it up a notch. Nonfiction, no. We're just going straight up. That's hilarious. You guys are.
I find that I go through phases. I don't know about you. Like I'll go through, like right now I'm in this insane phase of every podcast. I have to be learning from it. Especially it has to be podcast learning how to get your money, make money, all that stuff. Whereas before that, I was listening to a lot more like Dak Shepard and like fun interviews. And I think there's like a wave of like whatever is going on in your world, right? That makes you, that's what you want to learn about. That's what you're listening to.
So on that note, if you were to have a line of merchandise, what kind of line of merchandise would you like to go for, say, first or best? If you could wave a magic wand, cost didn't mean anything, you just go and make whatever you wanted, what would you love to make?
Well, our current line of merch
Yes?
are t-shirts, mugs.
Well, it's t-shirts made for nerds.
Made for nerds,
nerd
right.
couples.
Right.
So they have, which we could have worn them.
Oh, we should have.
I'm his nerd with
I'm
like a
her
wand,
nerd pointing that way.
or laser rays that way, that kind of stuff. We're building more of those out. I think that I really do have this. I'm excited by the idea of building out a lot of nerd merch, things that like when I go to shop for it, it doesn't exist. So that's what we're just going to start building that now. But it'd also be really fun to have like, I think a line of hybrid toys. Like what if we had like MST3K bots at our desk, just like hybrid action
that'd
figures.
be great. Yes. Also, if you just gave us carte blanche, right, to say whatever we want, yeah,
Of course.
So I think getting licensing rights for crossover stuff, crossover merch. So, for instance, I'm wearing a T-shirt right now.
You don't even need licensing rights.
That features Crow T. Robot and Tom Servo of Mystery Science Theater fame, Mystery Science Theater 3000, and they are the robots from Star Wars. So, two great fandoms crossed over together. That's what I would
you're never
want to
going to get those licensed. That's why people make these without licensing them, and which we can do. Dun dun. Till we get a cease and desist.
They never said it on our show. I swear to God, it wasn't real. We were just talking about it.
You were never given that green light from Michelle.
Speaking of Green Lanterns. No, I mean. I'm kidding. I'm assuming you both hate it, but, I liked it, so.
I liked it.
I liked it. I thought it was hilarious.
Ryan Reynolds.
Right? Can he go wrong?
Come on, Ryan Reynolds.
I've only liked him in Free Guy and Adam Project.
Well, then you like Ryan Reynolds.
I don't like him in Deadpool.
Deadpool's great.
So, I love you guys. You guys are fantastic.
Next
So, I could go on and on asking you, what kind of podcast do you want to get on? Who would you love to interview on your show? Do you ever let anybody in on the argument besides your daughter? Any.
We love it. We love it because we do our show live and nerds will be on typing via Facebook or YouTube. And we love it when they participate. So we encourage it. We'll throw their comments up on the screen.
But we do plan on having, at some point, we're trying to figure out how to work the guests out, because I don't know that bringing guests into the argument works as much.
Not even Ryan Reynolds? Right?
If he wanted to be on our show, you'd be like, come on the show, Ryan Reynolds.
But I would be using him for his fame.
I would be staring at his face the whole time. So you use what part you like, and I'll use what part I like. How's that? And if he feels used at the end of it, we'll apologize.
Guy, he's got some looks.
Right? Got a man crush on him, and it's like, that's okay. He's still alive.
I actually do have a man crush, and it's not Ryan Reynolds. It's
Who
James.
is? Well, that's fair.
Go out and see him in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 right now.
Wow, you're pushing his movies now. Like, just push his movies.
One of these days, he's going to hear me and be like, who's this John Curtis fella? Top-notch guy.
Right? It all started somewhere. We'll see you on a Twitter or something. Be like, what? I would totally do that. That'd be awesome. Nice. We'll be sure to put him in the show notes for you then. Just plaster his name all over the place. So if he has a Google alert on his own name, he'll be like, what the heck?
You say that.
Getting this. Like,
you say that, but there's one person that's your be all end all. If you had this person on the show, your life would be complete. And it's not James Marsden.
It's not.
It's Mark Hamill.
Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill.
Fair.
We're already best friends, kind of, in that he liked a tweet or two of mine a year ago, I think. So this will be an easy get.
Right? All the BFFs. I don't think my BFF's ever seen my Twitter. So you're totally up there.
Yeah.
You're already a step ahead.
Yeah.
Right? Awesome.
You have
oh my God. Again, love you guys. You guys are fabulous. Give us your podcast show again.
It is the Nerd Couple Show.
Yes.
And how often do you release episodes?
Every week. We are live every Saturday at 10 a.m. on
Pacific.
Facebook and YouTube. And then it's up Monday morning on every podcast app.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. I love it. I love it. I love it. So nerds out there of all sorts and shapes and sizes and colors and whatever else you are, make sure you follow these guys on the Nerd Couple Show. Go and check them out on Saturday mornings. Better than cartoons, guarantee it. And you can always, thanks to PVR, you can watch your cartoons later. Awesome. Any last words for our peeps, guys?
I just want to thank you. You're amazing. Thanks for having us on your show.
Yeah, you are. I was going to try to figure out a non-dirty way to say you are our first.
I didn't make it dirty this time.
Hey!
A bunch of ideas of things to say. Why does everything that says you're the first comes from a dirty place? So I don't have. So thanks. That's all I'll say.
Want to try and answer that question again?
I think it's because you're hanging around with me and him. You can't help yourself. It's all good. Awesome. You guys have been a blast. Thank you so much. Peeps, this is Michelle Nedelec. Thank you so much for being here with us today. If you know anybody that would make a great guest for the show, or if you have a question or topic you'd like me to discuss, reach out to me at michelle@awarenessstrategies.com or connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook. We love having you here. Thank you for listening to our show. I'm all about being a resource center for entrepreneurs to give them the information and the support that they need to make it in business. As such, the notes for this show can be found at our website at awarenessstrategies.com/blog. Be sure to subscribe, give us a rating. I like 5 stars personally, and share with your friends.